get to see how they get on here for this feature race here in the Heusinkveld TCR Heat Series, week number 4 from Circuit Zandvoort. It is Paul Smith and Samil Aurora on commentary here, and we're getting set for this feature race here. Drivers lining up in their corresponding queue, waiting for the green flag. It comes quite late here. Pace car drops in and almost immediately they get the green flag to go. So they have to hold the line. Just a reminder, have to hold the line here in their queue of traffic. Pace car down, heading down. He's going to take that sharp right. There it goes. Green flag in the air. Away we go. Great start by Fraser Smith. He darts out to the right, looking to try and get past Cooper. Jason Cooper and Fraser Smith side by side. Your leaders are side by side into turn number 1. Bachalega. They went 3 wide. Fraser Smith, Jason Cooper, Dennis Neidhart, and somehow everybody gets through turn number 1 with that. Into turn number 4 now. The Heusinkveld corner, round the hairpin they go. A little bit of side by side, a little bit of rubbing. That was 168, Dennis Neidhart. Oh, he's having a hard time. Oh, a big crash, big accident further back in your order. Numerous cars, Marcel Frisch, Marcel Hartenberg, Kevin Feinrich, all caught up in that one. Massive accident, but we're going to be staying green here because the leader's coming round in towards turn number 9, and Kubinji is trying to make some moves.
Kubinji really is on the charge over here. Here he comes, Bachelet getting a sharp line over here. This could be an opportunity. He goes on the inside and they touch. Again, if you're asking me how they kept it together, I don't know. I don't know how.
Petrozzello was trying to make the most of that. He nearly made up 4 positions. These guys are just going absolute hammer and tongs here. Petrozzello up into 4th place. Fraser Smith and Jason Cooper are battling away. Kubinji is struggling. He's fallen down to 4th place. So Cooper 2nd, Fraser Smith 3rd, Kubinji 4th ahead of Petrozzello. My goodness, this queue of traffic here, it's just manic there.
It's absolute chaos going over here at Zandvoort. You know, only a few minutes ago we said that racing over here can be a bit processional. Talk about that yet again after that opening lap over here. What a dramatic one. How have they all kept it together after the incidents of turn 1? I do not know. But here we go, Paul, another move in making here.
Yeah, Kubinji down to the outside of Tarzan. You can make that move stick. Fraser Smith doesn't give out of that, though. He gives him a little bit of a shoulder badge in towards 2 and 3. Rear tyres are still going to be quite cold here. A little bit of front to rear action there. A push to pass from Patrick Kubinji on Fraser Smith. Fraser Smith, like that, is a bit of a fiery character, and he'll give as good as he gets, that's for sure. Through the S's, Sandro Petrozzello, he doesn't want to be too close to these two, because if they have an accident, he wants to be able to take control of that and take both positions. I'll tell you one person who's liking all of this, your race leader, Alessandro Bachalega, almost 2 seconds in the lead here.
This is pretty much racing on cocaine. What a fantastic one it's turning out to be. Incredibly dramatic. And Petrozzello still on the charts. He's not letting Smith and Kubinji go. But the way Kubinji has driven so far, car contact or not, going sideways or not, he's kept that car nice and clean in. P3 is not bad, but he needs to get a good run on Cooper right here. Paul, there's too much happening. Petrozzello is going to the outside now.
Yes, he certainly is. Fraser Smith, not one for slowing down and not one for giving too much space. He holds on to that position then for the time being. Onto the brakes, penultimate corner. Get the run right out of this one. Don't run too far wide on the exit there. That exit curb, you can end up in the gravel then. And Petrozzello caught the inside curb. That unsettles the car slightly through that final corner. And Martin Aschert now behind Petrozzello is wanting to make some moves forward as well. So all of a sudden, Petrozzello needs to start looking behind because he's got Aschert and Steven Freiberghaus as well.
And Freiberghaus is one person who we know when he spots an opportunity, he is not afraid of going down for it. P7 is not a bad place for him to be in, but you can see in the way he's driving, he wants to gun for more and get a higher up position, because in the end, folks, remember, this is where the points count. This is where it all matters, and these results go down to your points tally. And in the end, it's a long season this, but you want to get the best results now.
Yeah, we're into the second half of the season, so every result counts here. And it's Jason Cooper who, out of the 4 that were at the top of the standings, he is trying to make the most of this opportunity. But Kubinji is in 3rd place. He's keeping the pressure on. We'll still look at this battle. Looking to the inside, it's Marian Hansel who is trying to get past Lennart Hartenberg. These two slightly caught up in that accident. Oh, Marcel Fritsch has had to take a drive down onto pit road. He was involved in that major accident on lap number 1. Hensel to the outside, makes it past Hartenberg then into the chicane. I think Hartenberg kind of helped him and waved him past on that one there.
That's a rather unusual thing to do, because over here the points count, the positions matter in the end, and getting that position back at a track like Zandvoort is like fighting with an angry crocodile in that case. That's what he's doing. You have to grab it by the tail and yank it as fast as he possibly can. And for Hartenberg, maybe, just maybe, that run out of the last corner was his intention of grabbing the position back, but mind you, that's a very tough thing to do, as we're seeing a move being made over here up ahead. Paul, is that Hensel involved in this?
It is the battle further down.
For Petrosilia, yeah.
6th place, yeah. Petrosilia and Martin Aschert then. So I said that Petrosilia need to look behind, because he's got Aschert and Freiberghaus behind there. Fraser Smith just in front of him. So these guys are duking it out. This is almost a bare-knuckle barroom brawl that we saw at the start, but it seemed to calm down now. I could tell you that some of the drivers that were involved in that accident, as I mentioned, Marcel Frisch has had to take a pit stop. Marcel Hartenberg was involved, Dennis Neidhardt, Kevin Weinrich. In fact, Kevin Weinrich has looks like he's taken a tour to the pit lane. Here we go. We'll have a look at this replay of the start then, Samel.
Yeah, and just in a matter of moments, all hell's going to break loose over here. We saw the safety car pull in, green flag is in the air. Bachilega just under a lot of pressure right there from the Custom Racing car of Kubinji. Fence that off properly, but in the back, look at them going 3 wide. Cooper being sandwiched, and Petrosilia on the outside as well. So far, so good. They made contact, they kept it together, but this is where things go rather loose heading past turn 3, because Paul, in this case, if I'm not wrong, one car, I think Fritsch is the one who lost it and kicked up all the drama. Here he is now.
Dennis Neidhardt was involved in that. Yeah. And it goes through. Oh, there's a squeeze from the Team Heusinkveld car on the left-hand side. And when they're 3 wide on the exit of turn 4, and the car on the left-hand side starts moving across to the right,
you know you're doomed.
It's always going to end in tears, and that's exactly what happened there. Weinrich and Frisch are both a lap down, as you can see on our timing tower on the left-hand side of your screen. Lap 5 then of this race. Let's just give you a quick rundown. It is Alessandro Bachialega in 1st place, ahead of Jason Cooper in 2nd place. Now Cooper is coming under intense pressure from Patrick Kubinji in 3rd place. So Kubinji trying to make up some ground on Bachialega and trying to move ahead into that 2nd place. 4th place, whilst we go through the rest of your field, Sandro Petrosilia ahead of Fraser Smith. So Smith down to 5th place now on that one. Martin Aschert 6th ahead of Stephen Freiberghaus. That's Marian Hensel, Lennart Hartenberg, Philip Eckhart, Andrei Rakovic, Dennis Neidhardt, Marcel Hartenberg, and then Marcel Frisch is the last of your runners, with Kevin Weinrich on pit road, and Omar Shama did not take the start, but these 2 drivers certainly did take the start. Jason Cooper having to go very defensive here, Samir.
Yeah, what happened with Jason Cooper over there when he just made that move into the braking zone? You saw his car twitch at the back. There is a clear example of what happens in these TCR cars. If you get on the brake a bit too hard, which Cooper may naturally be doing because he wants to defend for that position with all his might, the rear end just turns on you as quick as you possibly can imagine, and that car runs out of control. That's what happens with front-wheel drive race cars. But here it comes now, Kubinji to the outside on Cooper. It's a bold one, it's a risky one, but Cooper defends. Cooper has the edge. And does he? Kubinji to the outside line with the nose up ahead, Paul.
Kubinji can make that move stick here because he's got a left before the next right. If he can hold that outside line, he's got the inside for the hairpin. That's the ideal spot that he wants to be in. Cooper can hold the outside line because it is cambered in his favour, but I do think that Cooper is just carrying a little bit of damage on the front end of his car from the opening of this race. But Kubinji and Cooper side by side through the S's in towards turn number 8. It's Cooper who's got the advantage here on the inside line, and he's just ahead. Kubinji just had to touch the brakes, I believe, just to avoid any contact there, but Cooper is doing his best to hang on. But I believe that that's exactly what he's doing. He's hanging on. He's not really able to control that second place.
He really isn't, because now we see Kubinji back on the offensive once again. You can see it in the way he's driving. He's trying to get the most pinpoint accurate lines on the circuit to put his nose in the right place and get the move done. But Paul, that was the longest I've seen cars go side by side in Zandvoort ever. And they just went side by side all the way from turn 1 towards the S's till I think turn 8 that was, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, fantastic racing at the back. But Kubinji still has to settle in, and behind him is the train, and that is Petrozilo, if I'm not wrong, who has passed Smith,
Yeah, so if I'm Jason Cooper right now, and you can see how close they got on the replay there, look at that, that is just millimetres between the two of them. But if I'm Jason Cooper right now, I'm going ultra defensive. I'm determined to keep Patrick Kubinji behind, and I'm determined to actually slow each other down to try and bring that train of cars into this battle. I want Petrozilo on the back of Patrick Kubinji if I'm that lead car, Jason Cooper.
But there's another thing about his psychology as well. If you're someone like Jason Cooper, do you focus more on defending your position, or do you take a more positive approach and try and close out to Bachilega? Yes, there's a big gap, but never say never in the world of TCRs, and now Kubinji is following that mantra. He's on his tail yet again, and he's going for a lunge now, is he?
He's keeping it in line. He knows that there's not really the room. He knows that he can get the better run out of turn 11 in towards the chicane. So we've seen Kubinji line him up to be able to make the move into the chicane. So we know that that is on for Patrick here. This is an intriguing battle for second and third place. By the way, they're 4.5 seconds behind the race leader. Alessandro Bachilega has got the easiest run at the front of your field, but it's these two that we're focusing on, and quite rightly are we focusing on these two as well. They're only 1.5 seconds ahead of Petrozilo in 4th place. So Petrozilo is dragging that queue of cars. You can see him there on screen. He's dragging that queue of cars along with him as well. He's got 4 cars behind him. Of Smith, Asher, Freiberghaus and Hensel is not that far behind them either. As we come around that final corner, once again, we're just past the halfway point of this race. And Kubinji, once again, great run out that last corner.
He's coming through for a move on turn 1. I have a strong feeling that Cooper's going to block it off yet again. As he does, he obliges and keeps that position in. But Kubinji is not going to let go of this one. He's a relentless driver. That's what has come across from the way he's driven so far. And he will be trying something getting into turn 3. He does. He gets on the rear of his car, on the diffuser almost. But still Cooper maintains that position. And Paul, in the back over there, Petrozilo is maintaining a huge train, and you know a thing or two about trains, don't you?
Well, I know about keeping a train of cars behind me on iRacing, that's for sure. I've had plenty of practice at it. But as we go through the right-hand side, and these two still neck and neck. Now, Kubinji could be just waiting for his opportunity, not fighting too much. So he doesn't want Cooper slowing him down to allow that group of cars, that gaggle of cars, to catch up. And in fact, on their last lap, they did actually pull slightly further away from 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. So these two still battling out, but it's just simmering now. It's like you put it onto a medium heat. You just let it simmer now, and it will be towards the end of the race, and we turn the heat back up. Here we go then, penultimate corner again. Cooper up over the curbs, really attacks that inside curb on a penultimate corner. Want to try and avoid the curb on the apex of the final corner though, so it can unsettle the car and push you out wide across the line. Their last lap. Oh, he's having to feel the need to go defensive here is Cooper, because Kabinji is on a bit of a charge. He was about 0.03 of a second quicker than Cooper. Not that much on the timesheet, but you can see how Cooper went from being happy to hold his line on the last lap there, Samil, to having to feel the need to go defensive early.
Yeah, exactly. It's a change in approach for Cooper right here, and this is just a Rabachi Lega to pull out the most insane of gaps that I've seen in any TCR heat race. 5 seconds at the top. That is mind-blowing. But what's more mind-blowing is Kubinji's desire to win this one. I mean, he's just in the heat of this battle for quite a long time, and he hasn't squandered it. He hasn't made any major mistake. That can happen when you're chasing another car, you know, because what happens is you can get your eye line fixated too much on the other car. So when they go wide or they make a mistake, you can end up making the very same mistake yourself as well. Thankfully for Kubinji, he's not done something of that sort. He's stuck right behind on Cooper. And when the moment arrives, which could be the case coming in rather soon as we approach the final few laps of this race, he could be waiting at the right spot to go in there and bounce and get that position in.
Well, I think these two have pretty much settled that second place is going to be the highest position that they're going to get. But it's Cooper just carrying the front right damage, just a slight bit of damage on the front right for Cooper. And that's just going to affect him down the straights here. Hopefully he hasn't affected his steering by the looks of that. It looks fine. It looks to be driving straight and true. To come round the final corner once again, and he's going defensive early. He's going to the inside line. He was trying to break that draft, but it wasn't happening. Here comes Kabinji to the outside of Tarzan. We saw them go side by side for half a lap a few laps ago. Can they do it again? No, Cooper chops off his nose. He knows what he needs to do here, and Cooper hangs on to that second place, but it does feel that Kabinji has got the quicker car here.
You can just feel the excitement in the screens, on your screens, I beg your pardon. Kubinji on the prowl like a wild animal hunting through the jungle. He knows his prey. He's out there on the hunt. He's been chasing and stalking for a long time. Here he comes to the outside, nudging as much as he possibly can until Cooper crashes, which he doesn't, thankfully. And Paul, you can just feel it. It's all palpable at this stage. Kubinji is getting very edgy now.
I could tell you on my timing screen that Andrei Rakovic has made it up a place into ahead of Philip Eckart, but here's the move into turn number 10. It's not the ideal move for Patrick Kubinji, but that can set you up for the exit of this corner right here, because you compromise the line of Cooper in front of you through 11. Now heading down to the chicane. Will this be the chance that Kubinji has been looking for? Onto the brakes into the chicane. Cooper last of the late breakers, a little bit of bumping, paint swapping happening there, and Cooper still hangs on to that second place, but for how long?
They're just gonna go right till the end like a proper Titanic battle in this one, and Kubinji still doesn't let him go though. Cooper defended the position extremely well. It was an immaculate defense by Cooper right there, making full use of every single millimeter on the track. But Kubinji's back on the charge yet again, using all the draft, heading towards the outside line into turn 1. This is the opportunity. He's been setting it up for a while. Here he comes to the outside, Kubinji. And still side by side, door to door, Paul.
Oh, a little bit of rubbing. Kabinji runs wide over the gravel. It's not too bad out there. You can hold it out there, and that's exactly what he's done. But right now, Cooper is very much a wounded duck here, and he's very much a sitting duck. And it's just a case of basically it looks as if it's going to be a case of when, not if. But Cooper is a tough customer. He will hold on to that position with all his might. Kubinji has got the inside line. That's the run he needed into turn number 8. Turn number 9, if he can hold it there, can get him the advantage. But no, again Cooper chomps off his nose, but he's compromised his line. He's now taking compromised lines into each of these corners, and each one of these corners lead into the other, and that is what Kubinji wants here. We've lost Fraser Smith. He's had technical problems. He's out of this race, so that means it's now just 3 cars battling out for 4th place. But forget that, we're looking at this battle. Cooper hanging on for dear strength into the chicane. Be careful not to go too deep there, Jason. He holds it on, parked it on the apex there. He does not want Patrick to try and get the cutback here.
If you could see through the visor of the car right here, you would just see a whole lot of tension. Be it Cooper or be it Kubinji, whatever it may be, it's Kubinji at this stage, the onboard that you're finding out. It is just all nothing but excitement. Another run ball, turn 1 has just turned out to be a major hotspot. To the outside or on the inside, he goes to the outside. This is his choice, this is his move. Is he gonna get it done now? No!
Yes,
no,
yes he is. He's holding that outside line. That's what he needs to do. We've seen this a few laps ago. Kubinji, he's still going, holding that outside line. He's got the inside for the hairpin, and Heusinkveld, this is the opportunity. Cooper, it seems that he's worked his tyres too hard, and Kubinji finally makes the move stick. Fantastic driving from both of them, millimetre driving between the two of them, and Kubinji finally makes it up into 2nd place ahead of Jason Cooper, and I feel that Cooper is going to drop back quickly here as we're on the penultimate lap already.
Oh my goodness, what a fantastic move that was from Kubinji. He set it up, believe it or not, for 12 long laps. That's how long it takes to get a move done over here at Zandvoort. And I got so excited, I punched my fist in the air, unfortunately, and hit a wall, and I'm getting a bit of a bruise right now, but that doesn't matter because this battle so intense and so amazing towards the end. And now, Paul, this battle at the back of it with Petrosino leading that train, that becomes the main focal point. And now Asher is at the back. He's seen Kubinji done something right here. Can he replicate something like that on the last lap of this race?
Well, he's not got long. As you mentioned, we've got one more lap to come here. We'll get the replay again. And it was that move to the outside, and it was, for once in a while, it actually worked out that you try again, and finally it worked out for Patrick. Jason Cooper has superheated his front tyres. He's really struggling for grip now. Final lap we're starting right now. We need to look at the battle for 4th place as, Bachalega is way out in front. But look at this, side-by-side action for 4th place now. Petrosino and Asher, they're going door banging through 2 into 3. Petrosino holding on to that position for the time being. Asher almost giving him a little bit of a bump and run there. Decides against it, but through the turn number 4. Corners are running out for these 3 drivers right here for them to make any moves. But Asher, as you mentioned there, Samel, he's seen what's happened in front, and he's seen that it is possible to make that move. So, around they go. Turn number 9. Laps have almost run out for them. Different lines being taken into 10. Turn 11 coming up. It's that run that you need to get out of turn 11 to take you into the chicane. Dennis Neidhart and Andrei Rakovic, they are switching positions down in 9th and 10th place. I can see on my cameras, but look at that across the line then. He's so far ahead. He's won this race here then, has he? Bachalega. Oh no, he's almost at the final corner, should I say. I'm getting ahead of myself, but he is through the final corner as Bachalega then to win this race. What a result, what a masterful drive there from Alessandro Bachalega. Wins week number 4 of the Heusinkveld TCR Heat Series. My goodness, second place is going to be Patrick Kabinji ahead of Jason Cooper, and it's going to be Sandra Petrozilo in fourth ahead of Martin Asher, Stephen Freiberghaus and Marian Hensel. Leonard Hartenberg is eighth ahead of Rakovic and Neidhart and Eckhart across the line. Final couple of drivers that are going to finish this race is going to be Marcel Hartenberg, who was involved in that opening lap shenanigans, and Marcel Frisch as well in 13th place. A little bit of handbrake turns going on there on the exit of turn number 1, but Marcel Frisch is going to be the final one of your drivers that will come across the start and finish line with a very battered and bruised car, but we will be able to give you your final race results here. And my goodness, well, we hardly talked about him all race there, but Alessandro Bacialega, what a masterful performance to win this one by 8.1 seconds ahead of the battling Patrick Kabinji and Jason Cooper rounding out your top 3 podium. Sandro Petrozilo, fourth place. He hung on there at the end ahead of Martin Aschert, with Stephen Freiberghaus in 6th. Marian Hensel rounds out your 7th